We just bought a boat. We're in Round Pond, Maine. I just signed the paperwork on a 30-foot Sabre.
Wait, what? That's not the plan.
Ah, yes, the plan. Travel nursing, explore the country, close to retirement, buy a sailboat, refit the boat, explore, retire, travel. Plans changed. Let's move on.
We'll discuss this.
We were pursuing a great plan. Julie had taken up travel nursing, and she would take on a 13-week assignment somewhere, and off we went. I'm a programmer and work from home, so I was along for the ride. Our first assignment was Fairfax, Virginia. Then we bought an RV and spent the fall of 2016 in Boise, Idaho. After that assignment, we took the RV to New Mexico for the winter and flew back to Maine. The next spring, we picked up the RV and took an assignment in Grapevine, Texas. We drove the RV back to home base by way of Jacksonville, Florida, to visit family, and then spent a week at the Joe Null Model Airplane Show in South Carolina, and then on to storage in Pennsylvania. Fall of 2017, we headed back west for an assignment in Missoula, Montana. All along the way, we blogged about our adventures, when blogging was cool, and now everything seems to have switched to video logs or vlogs. Let's reminisce. Then it all came to a stop. Julie's dad had fallen, broken his hip, and with his dementia ultimately ended up moving in with us here in Maine, and that's where we have been since. Now, COVID changed life for all of us in the last year and restricted our travels and adventures. Living in Camden, Maine, only one of the most beautiful places to sail, especially here in Penobscot Bay, we have been itching to get on the water ever since our sailing experiences more than 10 years ago in Charleston, South Carolina. In Charleston, we used to race aboard 2 different Sabre sailboats. Sabre sailboats were made here in Maine, so we have always leaned towards having one of those ourselves. Locked up because of COVID, our sailing dreams grew. I'd check Yacht World, Boat Trader, Craigslist, and the Facebook Marketplace daily, and even made a budget to monthly grow the boat fund as fast as possible. We got to the point and said, if a boat comes along and it's a right fit, things will fall into place and the boat will find us. If that happens, we should go for it. You may ask what type of boat we were looking for. We definitely were not looking for an extreme project like Leo refitting Tally-Ho.
Overwhelming to see the amount of work to do here, but what a beautiful boat.
Or building from scratch like Steve and Alix are doing on Acorn to Arabella.
But the final product is amazing to see. Seeing her shape form as pieces come together is a wonderful feeling.
Also, we were not looking for something on the newer side, way out of our price range. We were looking for a solid boat with good bones that we could get on the water, improve it ourselves, and like we did with our RV, and get out of the house. Late July, an ad came across the feed on Craigslist. We reached out, met the owner that weekend, took a close look at the boat, crawled the bilges, looked for issues, and were impressed at the condition of this 41-year-old Sabre. It has issues, but none that we didn't feel comfortable addressing ourselves. And we made an offer, and an hour later it was accepted. So that's the start of this story. Our plan is to enjoy the rest of the summer. The boating and sailing season in Maine is only about 4 months long, from June through early October. Along the way, we'll share our experiences, so thanks for listening this far, and let's go check out this boat. The stanchion either forgot or what? It's got radar. Most of the teak is in great shape. Needs a good scrubbing. The bimini is relatively new. Looks like the top may be relatively new. This is not put on very well. Foredeck has a new roller furling. We should need some topside paint. The whole thing's going to get painted. Bottom of the mast looks good. Settee, got a quarter berth, the sink, this cooktop, no leaks in here that we see, V-berth, head, lots of promise. If you are not familiar with Border Collies, they tend to be right where you are. They make sure you are doing everything correctly and take every opportunity to figure out if you have enough time for a break so you can throw a ball or a frisbee, and they will keep reminding you that it's your job to do that. They did learn quickly after being told once and never stepped on the sail. There are 6 jibs, one working jib that needs a lot of maintenance but can be repaired, a jib that a mouse got into and there are a few patchable holes, a storm jib, a very large light air jib for wind less than 10 knots, and one for winds above 20 knots. There's also a very nice high performance racing jib made of Kevlar. We found a dinghy and 2 motors on Craigslist the day after we bought the sailboat. The seller lived in New Hampshire, so off we went. The dinghy came with 2 motors, a 2 and a 6 horsepower outboard. Runnable, but they need some rebuilds of their own, so we won't be relying on them yet, but they have potential. Funny story, the seller of the dinghy was looking for a 420, so on the spot we sold him ours that we have had for 12 years now. It has served us well, and it has been to the Outer Banks of North Carolina and lots of day sails here in Maine and in Charleston. We'll miss it. You made it through the first video. I'm on a steep learning curve for Final Cut Pro, so there's a few glitches here and there, so please forgive them until I catch up and learn the system. Welcome!
Welcome, guys. When we traveled, I was a travel nurse, and so that brought us many opportunities and experiences, and we used a blog to do that. Now that we have the boat, we're expanding, And we have lots of stories to tell you about here in the Camden area and what's going on with the boat and in our lives.
It's hard to judge, but we'll probably release a video every 2 to 3 weeks. We have some catching up to do. But until then, please like, subscribe, and we'll see you next time when we bring the boat from Round Pond to Camden.
But that's another story. Until next time,
See ya.
see ya.